Hi, YouTube. Okay, cool. So just like last week, y'all on Instagram already know this, but we are doing live at the same time on YouTube and then also on Instagram. So if you guys see me talking from screen to screen, that is what is happening. So I've been usually doing these on YouTube for the past few months. I think I've been doing these live tarot vibe checks every week for like, oh my God, a while. I think since February. And so it was only last week that I decided to do it live on Instagram and on YouTube at the same time. Like I've never done that before. And so I think a lot of you guys on Instagram just didn't know that I was also doing a live on YouTube, like so often. So let's see if YouTube can see the altar in the background. No, you can't. Oh, well, that's okay. Instagram can see the candle and the altar in the background. My little St. Lucie altar. So how is everyone? Let's start with that. Anyone who is watching live, it's a gorgeous day in Toronto. Absolutely beautiful after a few weeks of like London, UK type of weather. So anyone who is joining a little bit late and anyone who is watching the replay, I'm sure a lot of my YouTube people especially will be watching the replay. So what we're doing right now is a live tarot vibe check for the week ahead. Hello, Midnight Mystic on Instagram. What is up? So nice to be live. I used to do lives all the time, like all the time during the pandemic, which like makes sense because like you can't go out and see your friends during the pandemic, right? So I don't know, like since I moved during the pandemic, I haven't done as many lives. So I think I want to try to ramp it up a little bit because it actually is really fun, like chatting with y'all on YouTube. I'm slowly building my audience on YouTube and then on Instagram, which is where people are used to seeing me. So I hope everyone enjoyed the vibe check from last week. Honestly, it was one of my favorite tarot vibe checks I've done for y'all. Obviously, I also pull cards for myself as needed, but that one, it felt like very resonant. So, okay, it's so nice to have y'all here watching on Instagram. And then my YouTube people are going to be catching the replay. So for y'all who have not ever kind of caught me on one of these, what we do, tarot first, and then I pull from 3 oracle decks. So the tarot usually gives us the business of like, here's what to expect from the week. Like, here's the craziness, here's the drama, here's the real talk. Like, here's the shit that you are fucking up, and here's what you need to improve on. And then the oracle cards are like, okay, here's some self-care so that we can figure out the balance of our week. Okay. And then give these a little bit of a shuffle. And I'm working with an original printing of the Rider-Waite-Smith this week. It's so good. So this is not a digital printing. This deck is probably worth like $400. It's like old school printing. And if you guys don't really know what I mean, like how do you tell if it's a digital print versus an old school, like a lithograph print? I did post some reels about that. So after this is done, like feel free to just go watch those so you can see like, how do you tell that? All right, so let's see. So we just had the beautiful new moon yesterday. I don't know about you guys, but I'm still feeling like those good vibes. Like I love the new moon. I was born on a full moon, so I feel, I don't know, just like great vibes, great energy during new moons. It just feels like restful and relaxing and refreshing. Okay, so let's see. What do we need to know for this week ahead from June 19th to 25th? What do we need to know? Tarot vibe check. Let's see what the cards have to say, and then we can talk about it. Sometimes these need a little bit more of a shuffle. Let's see how many cards. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, a lot of cards this week. Yeah, Leanna Anscombe. I don't know how to say her username. I'm sorry. But no, absolutely check when you were born, like what moon phase you were born under. Like it might actually teach you a lot about your own like unique individual rhythms and when you feel like most aligned, most energized, most tired. So like if y'all have not looked up the moon phase you're born under, like look it up. It's super cool. Also, hello YouTube live people. Yay, it's so fun. You guys like my mug? I'm like obsessed. It's so pink. It's like so good. I love it. I love it. It's my second coffee of the day, you guys. Okay, so we got a shit ton of cards here, and I have not turned over anything. And so let me just, I'll show you guys on Instagram. You'll see all the cards. Oh my God. And on YouTube, you guys can't really see. Sorry. It's easier to like turn my phone than turn the laptop. But okay, so we got a shit ton of cards for this week. For some reason, like a lot wanted to come through. That's not always the case. I always just listen to the cards in the deck and just see what energy wants to come through. And sometimes it's not that many cards and sometimes it's a lot. So let's just turn these over and just give me a moment so I can turn these over and just see what we will be dealing with today. So far, everything is upright. Let's see. A lot of cards this week, you guys. So just sit tight. Just give me a moment. Just turn all these friends over. Okay. Wow, you guys, this has never happened in my life ever. This is a reading with no reversals. That's crazy. No reversals. So let's see how many cards we have. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 cards, no reversals. Can you guys believe that? That's absolutely bonkers. Like, I've been reading cards for a long time, more than 20 years, and have 12 card reading with literally not a single reversal. That actually bodes really, really well for the week ahead. So for y'all who are new to tarot and you don't really know what the hell that means, a reversal tends to indicate that there's going to be something in our way. There's going to be some kind of blockage. Like, it's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle. And so what I'm seeing from all of these cards, and they're all actually quite nice cards. We've got 4 major arcana out of 12, which is quite nice. We've got a nice elemental balance, lots of cups, 1 pentacle, some swords, 1 wand. So it's an interesting elemental balance. There's like a lot of, I don't know, it's interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting balance. No reversals. It's crazy. So this week, one thing to think about is whatever it is that is on your to-do list, whatever it is that you've been meaning to do, wanting to do, do not put it off any further. This week is going to be really, really good for you to just like get moving on whatever the fuck that is, because there's literally no roadblocks for you guys right now. There's nothing in your way this week. There's nothing working against you, which honestly, if you guys have been paying attention to these tarot vibe checks that I've been doing for the last few months, you'll know that like a lot of the time we do get generally like half the cards reversed, or at least 1 or 2 cards reversed, that are telling us, okay, there's some areas of life that it's going to be a little bit harder. We're going to have to put in a little bit more effort to get the result that we want. However, this week, like I said, I've never seen this before. Like, it's all systems go. Nothing is blocked for us this week. So this is going to be a really, really good week to move forward, to push through whatever shit we need to and want to push through. So obviously, if you're in the northern hemisphere like me, the summer solstice is this week. I guess if you're in the southern hemisphere, it would be the winter solstice. So I'm not going to get into the winter solstice right now because that is not where I live, my friends. But summer solstice energy, it makes sense to me that this week would just be like smooth sailing, no drama, nothing in your way. So really take advantage of that this week, honestly. Like, if there's anything that's on your to-do list, if you want to instigate a project, like get some writing done, get some artwork done, ask for a raise, like whatever the shit is that is on your to-do list this week, like do it. There's honestly not going to be any big hurdles. So it's a really, really good week to just keep that momentum going and push through whatever the fuck it is that you need to be doing this week. So that's kind of the first thing I'm noticing just in terms of the card patterns, right? And so again, this lack of reversals is a really, really good sign. We do have 4 major arcanas. We've got 2 court cards, and then we've got an interesting mix of the minor arcana cards. Most of them, I would say, are the latter minor arcana. So anyway, enough babbling from me. Let's actually talk about this one by one, since I'm sure most of you guys don't care too much about the card patterning. I love to pay attention to card patterning. It's a big part of how I read. As the cards are always talking to each other, right? Like you got to read what's there and also what's not there. So that's part of what makes my reading style a little bit unique. Okay, so first foremost, we've got the Justice card. I'm going to show in YouTube the Justice card. Very, very interesting. And so this week, since the Major Arcana card, I think a lot of stuff is going to start coalescing in the way that we want it to, and the way that we've set it up to coalesce, if that makes sense. So this means a lot of legal stuff might go our way, whether that is applying for, like, I don't know, like buying a house, and anything where lawyers are involved and accountants are involved, like anything like that is likely going to be going quite well for us this week. We're going to be treated fairly by whatever these powers that be are. Maybe we have an exam, maybe we're applying for something, whether that's, I don't know, a job or a raise, or I don't know, like fill in the blank. It could be literally so many different things. But the fact that justice is upright this week means that we are going to be treated in a just and fair way that is like commensurate with our skill set and with what it is that we deserve, right? And so again, this would be a great time to ask for a raise. Like I think you will be treated fairly if you decide to ask for that this week. What else? If you want some kind of application, like anything like that, you're going to be assessed in a fair way this week. So it'd be a really, really good time to do that, to ask for whatever it is that you feel like would be in your best interest. I know some people are dealing with like work from home mandates, and some people's workplaces are like, no, I don't want you to work from home. And people are getting into battles about that. And so this would be a really, really good week to instigate those type of conversations. And maybe that's not relevant to you and your particular life. That's okay. There's going to be potentially something else in your life where this might be a relevant thing. And AJ on YouTube is saying, so interesting, you have your divorce hearing on Monday. Oh my God. Okay, well, congratulations on your divorce, first and foremost. I think more people should throw divorce parties, to be honest with you. Like, it's something to celebrate. Like, it's an ending, it's a new beginning, right? So congratulations to you, and I hope your hearing goes well. So honestly, I think it probably will. Or I think I don't know like where your situation is with that, AJ, but like this card, like everything is going to be fair. Like everything is going to work out in a very fair way, right? So you're going to get whatever it is that you deserve on Monday. So sorry about it. Sorry about it. But hopefully for you, that means that this is going to go well. It's going to go the way you want it to go, right? It's going to be fair. We see these scales in this card, and I'll show Instagram the scales. And then that sword moving boom straight up and down is going to be that fairness, that clear communication, that clarity. So this week we're going to get a lot of closure, right? We're going to get a lot of closure for some of those legal, like like those little things that are a little bit annoying, right? And AJ is saying, yeah, you're so excited to have that chapter over. Good. I'm so excited for you. I don't know you, but that's great because I know divorce sounds like really stressful. But one thing to keep in mind is like it's all going to work out for like the highest and best good. It's going to work out in a fair and just way. So that is a nice one. And interestingly, on that note, AG on YouTube was just talking about getting a divorce and like having that finally figured out. Our next card for this week is the 10 of Pentacles. And I will show Instagram as well in just a second. Just want to get YouTube to see this beautiful card, 10 of Pentacles. Here we go, 10 of Pentacles. And so this is really interesting because 10s do tend to also be an ending or like the highest point that something can get to, right? And so you see what this card looks like. We see this like beautiful family. Everyone's chilling. It's like a beautiful environment. And so something is kind of like at the height it's going to get to in some ways, right? And so AJ, like with you with your divorce, it's like, yeah, everything was as good as it could have been. Divorce happens. Okay, that is an ending. There's a closure. And AJ, for you in the chat here on YouTube, you can see this like older gentleman here kind of like looking back. And if we're going to read this for your exact situation, we could see this as you kind of reflecting on this like previous married life and just observing that as an outsider, knowing that it is now over because it is a 10, right? It's quite interesting. And just showing this over here to Instagram so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So closure, endings, often financial endings. So if anyone is in a place where you are leaving your job, or again, getting a divorce, like AG on YouTube is saying, leaving your job, or maybe you're getting a promotion or something like that. Maybe you're selling a business. Maybe you are selling a house. Maybe you're buying a house. Like, I don't know. Like, the name of the game with this card, I would say in this reading for this week, is to think about these endings, thinking about these transitions, thinking about our home life, our family life, our financial life. What have we built for ourselves? What have we cultivated for ourselves over the past little while? How much further can certain things in our life go, or have we pushed some of these things as far as it can possibly go? That's something to think about for this week. The other name for pentacles, of course, is coins. So count your money. Just see how your money is going. Do some of that financial self-care. Look at your bank accounts. Look at your savings. Look at your investments. Look at the value of your home. Look at your assets. Just make sure that you're taking a big look at some of that stuff this week. Just get grounded in it, right? That's going to be important. So our next card for the week is the 9 of Wands. I'm going to show y'all on YouTube, 9 of Wands, and then show y'all over on Instagram. So this card is really, really interesting. And I think this is actually our only Wands card for this week. And so this 9 of Wands, you can see this guy looks really exhausted. He's like, oh my God, I'm so over all of this energy that has been like, used lately. And so this 9 of Wands is a reminder to take a bit of a break, to notice where is our energy going? Are we spending all of our energy on stupid shit? Are we defending ourselves from like oodles of things? You can notice that this guy is like holding this wand to kind of protect himself, and he's got this wounded bandage on his head, right? So it's like, what is he prepared to defend himself from? You guys can see this card over here on YouTube. Sorry if anyone's just tuning in. I'm doing this live on YouTube and Instagram at the same time. So if you see me kind of going back and forth, that's what's going on. And AJ, yeah, you're saying you've been pulling this card a lot. That makes sense, right? Given what you just shared about going through a divorce right now, that probably feels quite exhausting. It probably feels like a bit of a drain on your energy. And that is the name of the game with this card, is this 9 of Wands. It is a drain on our energy. And you probably got some woundedness in your head. That's what we're seeing here. This guy's little wounded thing. And so make sure that you do enough self-care mentally, emotionally, etc., so that your woundedness and whatever it is that you're defending yourself from is not clouding your intuition, right? Because our intuitive chakras are up here. So we want to make sure that that is clear, that is healed, that is not wounded, right? So take that time to do some self-care, like build that wall somewhat around yourself, that protective wall that we see here with all these wands. Yes, be sure to have your little weapon to protect yourself. And that weapon can be a no. It can just be, hey, I have boundaries. Hey, that's a no from me. No, I'm not going to be doing that either anymore, today, this week, ever, etc. Right? And so this card often happens when we're just so exhausted and vigilant from always having to tend to other people's problems. Exhausted and vigilant from always having to tend to other people's problems. Right? And so whenever I see this, it's like, yes, it's almost over. Whatever this is referring to is nearly over. But make sure that you're able to just take a bit of a like an exhale, a little bit of a breath, so that you can like resume some of your energy, regain some of your energy, because wands are our energy. It's our internal fire. It's what is like blossoming up from that sacral chakra, right? It's our digestive fire. It's our creative fire. And we want to protect that. But if we're spending all of our internal fire protecting ourselves, then we're not going to have any energy to spend on the things that we love and that help us stoke our fire even more, right? So we really want to protect our energy. We really want to protect that fire, that internal sense of motivation. So that's something to keep in mind this week. Really notice when you feel exhausted and make sure you take that time to just like exhale, take that breath, breathe, chill, do your thing. We don't want you to be feeling like this all the time. This is not a sustainable place to be for too long. And so this week, really do that self-reflection and figure out, like, what is it that is exhausting me so much? AJ on YouTube, that might be all the divorce stuff that's finishing up. So you'll probably like be able to just like get rid of this vibe quite soon once that's all done. And for everyone over on here, let's see. Leanna is saying on Instagram, do you relate wands with air and swords with fire, vice versa? Vice versa, absolutely. For me, wands are absolutely fire, and I would say that is the typical association for anyone who is new to tarot. So thank you for that question. Yes, it's a fun question, because I think sometimes people do the reverse, and I'm like, no, it doesn't make sense. So, okay, we got a ton more cards, though, this week, you guys. So keep sitting tight. So next up, and this is a fun card that is, I would say, quite related to the last card, right? This card, I would say, is a little bit of a clue to that Nine of Wands. We have the Four of Cups coming up next. So if you remember, I was just talking about boundaries, the importance of saying no to things. And you can see that is exactly what is happening in this card. This guy is being offered a new cup, already has 3 cups, does not give a single shit about this additional cup that is being offered. He's just like, oh my God, why are you doing this to me? And I'll just show you guys on Instagram. So this is a really good week to practice our no, to practice our boundaries, to say, you know what, maybe I would have said yes to that a year ago. Maybe I usually say yes to that, but guess what? Like, I'm not going to say yes to that today. I'm not going to say yes to that anymore. And the name of the game with this is when we have good boundaries, it enables us to be a bit more emotionally stable, right? So the 4s in the tarot, this is the 4 of Cups, tend to be about stability, stabilizing, right? And so the cups are the emotional, intuitive suit, right? So this is about cultivating emotional stability by saying no, by having boundaries. Very, very important. And this can be boundaries with other people, and it can also be boundaries just like with ourselves too. And it might feel like difficult to do, but at the end of the day, this is going to be a stabilizing thing. So if you ever feeling like, oh my God, like, oh, I really want to eat that donut, or I really want to do whatever, like, I really want to go on a shopping spree, I really want to go to like whatever, make sure that you're able to tell yourself no if you know that you're going to have like an emotional hangover if you tell yourself yes. So this is not just boundaries between us and others, it's also like boundaries within ourselves. I think a lot of people forget that about this card. So have good boundaries with other people and with yourself this week, my friends. And next up, we've got yet another Cups card. Pretty fun. So the Page of Cups we've also got for this week. And so the Page of Cups, as we were just talking about, the cups are a very emotional, intuitive, romantic suit. And Midnight Mystic on Instagram is saying you got called out with boundaries with yourself. Yes, exactly. Sometimes it's like easier said than done, right? Like a lot of people interpret that 4 of Cups as being just about saying no to like external forces, but it's also very much about like being able to be real with ourselves about like, okay, am I actually being boundaried with my own self right now or not, right? So boundaries in all of the ways. Boundaries are in all the ways. So this lovely Page of Cups, it's such a nice counterbalance to some of these other cards that we've gotten so far, which tend to be a little bit serious, right? This Justice card, the 10 of Pentacles, the 9 of Wands, the 4 of Cups. These cards are all pretty serious, I would say, like not like a little bit heavy, like they're not negative, of course, but these cards have all been a little bit heavy. So this card is a bit of a different vibe, right? The Page of Cups has a lightness to it. The Page of Cups is a little bit more like flowing, easygoing, a little bit more mellow, a little bit more fun, a little bit more playful, a little bit more chill. So this is a reminder to make sure that we're able to be curious this week, touch in with our intuition, touch in with our emotions to give us some guidance on how to be, what to do, how to move. It's a reminder to be a little bit more playful, not be so serious, because all those other cards are a little bit serious, but retain this sense of like levity and lightness and a connection to playfulness. So as you're having boundaries, as you're figuring out whatever legal stuff that is, still like be playful, do something fun and easygoing for yourself. Uh, Honor those little like intuitive pangs that some of us might get, where it feels kind of random. It's like maybe you get off the bus like 3 stops before your usual stop just for the sake of going for like a cute little walkabout in the neighborhood. Like follow those little intuitive messages that are going to pop up in your head this week. And again, it doesn't have to be around anything serious. It can just be really relaxed, chill type of stuff. So do retain some sense of levity and lightness this week, especially in regards to our intuition and our emotional life. Someone is saying on Instagram, can you ask a question? Nope, babe. I'm in the middle of a reading for everybody. So no, you cannot. If it's a question about yourself, no. If you got a question about any of the cards that are being pulled, yes. But this is on time when I'm reading for others, my friend. We are doing a vibe check reading for everybody for the week ahead. So anyway, the next card we've got is the Fool. I'm just showing everyone on YouTube first. This beautiful Fool card. Really, really beautiful. Love it. This is the first card of the entire tarot. The entire tarot is often seen as the Fool's journey. And so this is a really, really lovely card to get, especially in conjunction with that Page of Cups, especially in conjunction with some of those other cards that are a little bit heavier. So this, again, is a reminder to embrace lightness and playfulness this week. Right? So yes, we might be dealing with some stressful stuff. We might be dealing with some legal stuff. We might be dealing with raises and divorces and moving and who knows. Like there's a lot of like more intense stuff that we might be dealing with this week. At the same time, this is an opportunity this week to really embrace the new beginnings, embrace the trust of ourself, embrace the trust of the universe, and embrace like everything about this next step, this next chapter in our life. AJ on YouTube was just talking about getting a divorce and having all that stuff like finalized and figured out. This is an awesome card for you too, AJ, and like anyone else who's listening right now. Whatever you're going through in life, there's going to be some endings, and then there's always an opportunity for a new beginning, right? We don't have to wait for January 1st. We don't have to wait for the new year. We don't have to wait till our birthday. We don't have to wait for anything for a new beginning. We can decide any point of the day, any time of the year, that we can have that new beginning. And so this week, I think with the summer solstice in particular, is such a good opportunity to embrace this new, fresh, like summer vibe, this energy of the new beginning that the Fool card reminds us that we can really embrace at any time. I would say this is also an invitation to do some like inner child work, our like our little baby part of ourself, like whatever it is that pleases you, that aspect of yourself. Maybe that is going for ice cream, maybe that's buying yourself like a little toy that you used to play with when you were a kid, just like for fun, right? Like in the background, like you can see some of my dolls that I had when I was a kid. I don't know if you guys can see it on Instagram. Yeah, you can. There we go. And so it gives me so much happiness to cultivate, like to please that little kid version of myself, right? And so whatever that looks like for you, maybe that's going to the park and swinging on the swings. Like it might sound kind of silly as an activity, but do some of that stuff that reconnects you to that childlike joy that can be really challenging to reconnect with as adults, right? Like we're all so serious all the time. We're doing our jobs. We're like, maybe some of us have the 9 to 5, maybe we're raising kids, maybe we're exhausted all the time. Like it can be really hard to reconnect to that childlike sense of wonder and joy as adults. It can be so hard. And so maybe this is also like going on a field trip by yourself to the zoo as an adult by yourself. Like, why the hell not? Like, just do something fun and like kind of silly and random that you would have loved to have done as a kid, right? Oh, Leanna on Instagram is saying, you never thought of this card relating to inner child. Yeah, absolutely. I would relate this card in the sun to the inner child, I would say. But it's quite lovely. It's quite lovely. And I think the other thing with this card too is you have everything that you need in order to connect with your inner child, and you have everything that you need at your disposal already to have a good, fresh start, right? Because the Fool is about fresh start. Notice he's got this little bag, holding all the little things that he needs. You don't need anything else. You already have everything that you need in order to instigate a really positive, solid, fresh start. And let's say AJ is saying on YouTube, getting out of nature more is your current goal. I love that. That's awesome. Yeah, that's perfect. And like that is what this character and this card is doing, right? Like on a sunny day, like going out for a nice little walk. Why the hell not? Another thing is like you can adopt an animal. If you're going to be responsible and actually take care of it. But this is also a really good time to do that too, right? I pulled this card before for clients when they've been thinking about adopting a cat or a dog. And I'm like, absolutely, this is a hell yes to that. If anyone is thinking about adding to their family in terms of animals, this is a really, really great card for that too. I love that card, the Fool. Okay, so next up, we've got the Knight of Swords. I'll show you guys both over here. So, Knight of Swords is a really interesting one. So, after we've connected with our inner child and we've connected with that kind of more innocent, hopeful, joyful, trusting part of ourselves, this card is a reminder like, okay, what are we afraid to do? What are we afraid to act on? And this is a reminder to just act before we feel ready. And I'll show YouTube this card first. Instagram, I'll get to you in just a second. But here we see that this rider of the horse, the Knight of Swords, he looks so intense. He's like gung-ho. And this horse is like, dude, are you serious? The horse is a little bit like, I don't know about that. Right? I'll show you guys over on Instagram. You can see the rider, the knight, and the horse look like they're kind of on two different pages, right? And so this card is a reminder to act before you feel ready, to jump before you feel ready, whether that is to start a new business, to make an offer on a new house, to ask that person you got a crush on out, to, I don't know, like there's so many different things this could be about. So I trust that you guys will know like what about this is relevant to your life. But the point of this card is to act before we really feel ready, make that leap, make that jump, trust yourself, trust the environment, trust the people in your life, trust the universe, just operate from a place of trust and take that leap, take that risk, right? And Leanna on Instagram is saying, be brave. Absolutely. Right? This is a card that is about bravery. It is about not getting so caught in our thoughts, right? So when we're in our thoughts too much, sometimes we get paralyzed and we don't actually do anything. We just get stuck and we don't actually act, right? And so this card is like, don't worry, you are ready exactly as you are. Don't overthink it. Just make the leap, take the risk, do the thing. Right. And so I think I actually really love that we got the Page of Cups and the Fool right before this card, because it's like getting in touch with that inner child part of ourself can give us more ammunition, can give us more momentum as we try to do something new, do something risky, right? Because for kids, they take risks all the time. They're like, whatever. They're not freaked out. They're like, this is easy. Who cares? As adults, we get more afraid to take risks, right? And so that's how these two things are related. Like I kind of actually love these cards all together. And let's see, Ava Vestman on Instagram is saying, you needed this, OMG, with a flaming heart. Thank you. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, it's an interesting one, right? Like it's okay to take that leap. It's okay to take that risk this week. So continuing on from that, and we've got a lot of cards this week, my friends. The Eight of Swords. There's an interesting one. So the Eight of Swords, you'll notice that this person is like got all of this kind of, they're like wrapped in like toilet paper or something, right? So they feel more trapped than they actually are. On Instagram, I'll show you guys this card again in just a second. I'm showing my YouTube people. So you can see that this person is not actually trapped, right? Like if she just wiggled free a little bit, she would be free. She's not like changed to anything. And so this card kind of calls us out a little bit. This card is like, okay, why are you holding yourself back? Why are you telling yourself negative stuff? What are your limiting beliefs that are stopping you from moving forward, even though there's nothing blocking your path? Right? There's nothing blocking her path. She can just keep walking, but she doesn't. And so this card is asking you, what are you doing in your life that is like this, right? Where in your life are you behaving this way? Where in your life are you thinking that you can't do something, that you're trapped when you actually aren't trapped, and you just have to take those steps forward, right? And the path is clear. She just has to follow that water, that intuition, right? The emotion to get further along and to not be trapped by whatever those limiting thoughts are. So notice the ways that you are like giving into a learned helplessness when you're not really helpless. As adults, we're actually not helpless most of the time. As kids, we can be helpless. So I think this is probably why we got those two more inner child type of cards earlier, right? So bringing us back to that inner child, why it's so important to heal that inner child so that we can have this realization that we are not children anymore. And that inner child part of ourselves that can be holding us back from taking risks, from doing this, from doing that, from saying, we can't do this, we can't do that. We have to heal that, soothe that, and make that space to actually move forward in our lives, right? Let's see. Leanna on Instagram is saying it's like she used to bring her toes into emotion, which she may be afraid of. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And yet that emotion is the path outwards, right? I'll show you guys on Instagram. The water, you got to follow that emotion, follow that intuition to get out of whatever the mental trap is. Now let's see. Sarah on Instagram is saying, hi, Sabrina, your readings always feel so empowering with a heart. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. I love that. I do my best, you know. Anyway, the next card we've got is Temperance, and I'll show my YouTube folks first. Temperance, I love this card. This card is actually associated with Sagittarius, which is my sun sign, if you guys didn't know. And so this card is all about alchemy. It's all about like integration, blending things together. And I actually love that we got this card after we just pulled all of those cards about boundary. Like, first of all, like justice, endings, boundaries, like saying no, following and connecting to our inner child, healing our inner child, taking risks, getting rid of those limiting beliefs, taking that risky action forward. And we've got to integrate all of that together with this really beautiful temperance card. And so I love temperance. You guys can see there's a balance of all the elements in this card, right? There's the water, there's the sun, there's the air. We see that with the wings. There's the earth with all the plants. And so this card is actually quite lovely. We do see this stunning elemental balance in this card that we don't actually see in most other cards in the tarot. And so this week, like, we're kind of being challenged to do that internal alchemy. This week, we're being challenged to bring together all of these different aspects of ourselves that perhaps we were wounded, perhaps we're healing, perhaps we're just kind of like integrating new knowledge and new healing, whatever which way that makes sense in our own life. But this is the week where we can kind of blend that all together, right? So instead of having all these like individual ingredients, we're mixing it together into some kind of meal, integrating it, right? We're bringing it all together. We're making it make sense for us. So this is going to be a really, really big week where we've got this opportunity to do this alchemy inside ourselves, right? So everyone always talks about healing, self-care, like new habits, blah, blah, blah. And like maybe we do that for a week, maybe we do that for 2 weeks, and then we kind of forget about it. But this week we actually have that opportunity, I think, especially with that lovely summer solstice energy, to make these changes and this integrated stuff more permanent as an aspect of ourselves. So do not run from this challenge to alchemize. Like, do not run from this challenge to bring all these different aspects of yourself together, right? Feeling is healing, as I've said in a previous podcast episode. And it might feel kind of scary to bring all this stuff together, but notice, like, this is an angel, right? You've got these wings. It will help you fly more, further, faster, etc., cover more ground in this beautiful thing called life if you're able to just bring all these aspects of yourself together and do this internal alchemy, emotional, mental, and passion, and also the grounded physical reality too. All of these different 4 elements coming together as one in this card. Really, really awesome. I fucking love that card. Okay, next up. Next up, my friends, we have the Empress card. I love this card. I'm just going to show my folks on YouTube first. Then we'll show Instagram, the Empress. I love it. And so this is a week of the opposite of rigidity, right? Like we did not pull the Emperor, we pulled the Empress. The Empress, no matter what your gender is so much more fluid. It's about receiving energy. It's about being royal and being powerful, but in a bit of a softer way, right? To be a bit more soft, a bit more chill, a bit more just like flowing, as opposed to being really rigid and rule bound, right? The Emperor is about rules, structure, logic. Everything is going to be on a tight schedule. Whereas the Empress is a lot more about flow. She's a lot more about, how do I feel? What am I in the mood for? The Empress will say, you know what? I know we had reservations at that Italian place, but I'm really craving sushi right now. Let's do that instead. And the Empress honors her feelings. She honors her cravings. She honors her desires, whatever they are. And she speaks them into the world. And so this card, the Empress, is a reminder that this week, it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to honor your feelings. It's actually really important that we honor our feelings. It's really important that we honor our cravings. It's really important that we give voice to that feeling, sensing, sensual aspect of ourselves. Notice there's pretty much like no hard lines in this card. It's like all curvy lines. I'll show you guys on YouTube first, on Instagram. Pretty much no rigid lines. And so this week, allow yourself to be fluid, allow yourself to be changing, allow yourself to make room for your changing energy levels, your changing moods. Don't force yourself to adhere to like what your typical schedule is and your typical routine is. Like if you usually go to the gym Monday nights and do leg day and you're like fucking exhausted, like don't force yourself. This is not the week to force yourself. This is the week to just see how you're feeling and honor those feelings. You do not need to push your emotional limits this week. It's like honor that peace, honor your feeling, like maybe be a little bit lazy. We can see her kind of luxuriating on this fabulous series of pillows in this very cool outfit. So honor your need for self-care and rest this week, right? Treat yourself like an empress. What can you do this week to make your life easier? Maybe that is ordering like a little bit more delivery food. Maybe that's getting your groceries delivered. Maybe that's ordering like meal prep from somewhere. Maybe that's going to the spa. Maybe that is buying yourself a really cool new like nightgown with strawberries on it or whatever she has going on, right? Do some of that luxurious self-care this week because it will help you fill your cup. And it will help you to practice honoring what these feelings are, your urges that come up from your body, right? So the Empress is all about feminine energy. And of course, feminine energy, whatever your gender is all about learning to listen to the body and what is coming up from within the body and actually honoring that, listening to that, and giving that voice, hearing it, saying, yes, I will do what you want, rather than pushing down those urges that we might have. Right? We want to honor that aspect of ourselves this week. Whatever your gender. Okay? Okay. I'm going to take a sip of coffee before I get to these last two tarot cards. I think it's the most people I've had watching on YouTube at one time. Hello, YouTube. So exciting. Okay, next up. Got the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords. I love this card. Ace of Swords. Let's see. Melinda Joy on Instagram is saying this sounds like a lot of Taurus energy. Just wondering if she also represents Libra. No. So actually, I don't know how long you've been watching on Instagram, Melinda Joy, and I actually don't know if that is how you say your username. But we actually did pull the Justice card earlier, which is very much a Libra card. Yeah, very much a Libra card. I would say the Empress is very earthy, so that could be one way to think about it. Does Felix on Instagram is asking, Empress is indirect power. That's one way to look at it, but I wouldn't quite interpret it that way. It's more about like a soft power, like a rumble of power, if that makes sense. I'm going to leave that there for now. So our next card, I want to make sure we get to it. Ace of Swords, upright. And so I love the energy of this. It's very much new beginnings, starting something fresh. And swords are also all about communication. So saying something that you might be afraid to say, starting something new. That could be, again, asking for a raise. It could be asking out your crush. It could be starting a podcast, launching a course. It can be looking for new places to live. It can be so many different things. It can be maybe you want to start writing a book. Maybe you want to start reading more, right? Starting something new, ideally something that is going to be communication based, right? And so if you are hesitant to start something new or to speak your truth in some kind of way, this card is a green light. This is a really, really good time to do that, right? Everything is kind of in your favor this week to start whatever that might be. And then our last tarot card for this week, and after this, I'm going to get to the Oracle cards, which I know is a lot of people's favorite part of this. We've got the Nine of Cups. Lovely. Nine of Cups. I'm going to show y'all on Instagram a Nine of Cups. So the Nine of Cups is so interesting, and it's a really fascinating counterbalance to that Nine of Wands. And so Nine of Cups is all about taking stock of everything cool that we've accomplished, right? Like, but in a different way than we see in, I believe, the Seven of Pentacles. There's a smugness to this card. I'll show you guys on Instagram in just a second. He's crossing his arms. He looks quite pleased with himself. And of course, we've got the cups, which are all about the emotion. So being able to lean in to this emotion of joy, of wow, like all these wishes that I've had have been fulfilled. How many more wishes can I make? And also just looking at, those cups behind him, right? It's like, how many trophies have I won so far in life? Like, what are these like emotional things? These things I've won through trial and error and hard work and sometimes maybe luck. What is it that we've earned? What is it that we've got on display? What is it that makes us feel this emotional proudness and groundedness in our intuition and where we're at emotionally? Right? This is technically sometimes a card that's about wishes and joy, but I also like to see it as a card that is very much about just taking stock of the massive emotional and intuitive and spiritual abundance that we've been able to cultivate in life so far. Really lovely. So take stock, right? Like, look at all the things you've been able to accomplish so far in your life. Take stock of that and really feel into that. That is what this Temperance card is all about. Because if we just got all these trophies and we don't feel it, we're not integrating it. This week we got to integrate. Integrate. Take stock. Allow yourself to feel that joy. Allow yourself to feel that growth and really internalize it. You don't need to be like running from your own growth, my friends. It's the week to internalize the growth. I think this is like the longest week ahead reading I've done for you guys ever over the past few months. They've usually been like only half an hour, but for some reason I felt like really compelled to do all these cards. So how do we feel, friends? And don't sign off yet. We still got the Oracle cards for the week. But those were fun. I like all those cards. And again, all upright. So if you are wanting to try something new, that's a really, really good week for it. A really, really good week for it. Let's see. Okay. My foot is asleep. I'm like sitting on it, so I'm just gonna adjust slightly. Okay, friends. So let's talk about oracle cards. Let's do that next. So I just push these tarot cards to the side so there's room on the table for the oracle cards. Okay, so as always, I'm gonna be pulling from 3 different oracle decks. So let's see. Which one do we want first? We want the sassy oracle or do we want one of the self-care oracles? Someone let me know. Sassy oracle cards or self-care oracles? Which do we want first? There's enough of y'all watching that someone can throw out a preference. What do we want? Do we want sassy oracle? Do we want self-care 1? Self-care 2? Okay, so Sarah on Instagram is saying self-care. Which self-care do you want? Self-care 1 or self-care 2? And Instagram might kick me off in 10 minutes. I think their max live is like an hour, so I'll just reconnect it if that happens. Self-care 2. Okay, cool. So I actually love all of these decks. Thank you, Sarah, for making a choice. It's always nice to do a little poll and see what people want. So, okay, friends. So for this week, all of those cool tarot cards, oops. Well, when the cards are jumping, that means they want to be heard. Okay, so that was a quick shuffle. So those were some jumping cards. So let's see what our self-care instructions are for this week. Self-care number 1 for this week, I'll show YouTube first, is family. So obviously, whatever this means to you, like everyone has got a different relationship to family. Maybe you're blood family, you're not like in touch with them, but this is like whoever is family to you, right? Is that chosen family? Maybe that's your friends, maybe that's your work family. Like maybe there's a cultural group that you really resonate with, or maybe you, if you're queer or trans, like you really dig your queer and trans family. Whatever family is to you, it's going to be really important to just spend some time with those folks this week, even if that's something as simple as a phone call or text or something. That's number 1. And next up, build strength. I'll show you guys on Instagram, build strength. And so this card is all about going to the gym. So build some kind of physical strength. Just it can be a really, really good way just to like get our energy moving, to get our body moving, to release some of that tension, whatever which way that looks for us. I've never done any kind of like strength class, I guess, other than Pilates. I don't know if that counts. But build strength. And what's actually really interesting is it's got this like third eye going on. So the relationship with the physical strength and the spiritual strength we see in this card, which is pretty cool. So next up, we have dance. I love this. And so even if this is just dancing randomly by yourself in your apartment with your cats, which that will probably be me, moving around and flowing can be a really good way to just like get our body moving, get our energy moving, to build energy, to release energy, whatever which thing you think that you would benefit from. Dancing. I do think dance is related to ritual for sure. I see dance as a form of ritual. Okay, so next up I want to do the sassy oracle, and then we will do the other self-care oracle, just like end us on a positive note. Because the sassy oracle can sometimes be sassy. So let me just give these a little bit of a shuffle. Let's see. What do we need to know about this week? And if any of you guys are just signing on now, you did miss all of the tarot cards, but you can still rewatch soon. Once this is done, you'll be able to rewatch it. All right, what do we need to know from the Sassy Oracle this week? What do we need to know? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lots of cards this week. Okay. Don't throw pearls to pigs. So, like, know your audience. Do not waste your preciousness on people who do not deserve you. That would be one way that I would interpret this. Very important. Ooh, I love this. Leave everything you know. Carry only what you fear. Love it. So cool. And that relates to some of the cards that we pulled, right? That Fool card, the Knight of Swords, taking those risks, doing that thing that does scare us a little bit, right? It's important. Okay. Sorry, just doing something quick on the YouTubes. Okay, cool. So next up, worrying is suffering twice. I love this. Like, worrying is optional. Like, worrying doesn't actually really accomplish anything. I think that's really, really true. You know? Time spent worrying is time spent. I would say it's time wasted. Next up, don't lose your head. Keep it chill. Be confident. You got this. Next one, open your eyes. Your life is filled with abundance. I love this. It's so true. And for my Instagram people, open your eyes. Your life is filled with abundance. So good. So important. So true. I think a lot of people forget this, you know? So be grounded. I think we can relate that card to this one that we pulled, right? And then this one, I almost don't want to show you guys, but it says, oh no. So expect the unexpected. Be open to things going differently. And just have a good attitude about it. So those are our oracle cards from Sassy Oracle. And then next up, we're going to pull cards from this other self-care oracle deck. I like this one a lot too. And I think Instagram is going to kick me off on the live in just a few moments. So I will go on the live again, maybe. Or you guys on Instagram should just go on and watch the rest of it on YouTube. Anyway, let's see what we got. Some oracle cards. What do we need to know for this week? Okay, cool. That feels right. Okay, interesting. Truth. So it says, truth is different at different levels of consciousness. Reserve judgment. So this could be a good one, like if you're dealing with anyone that you feel is just like out to lunch, just like let it be, don't judge, just, you don't have to correct everybody. This one is it took me a long time to learn this one. It was a hard one for me for a very long time. Reserve judgment. Next one says calm. A breakdown is often followed by a breakthrough. Remain calm. Very cool. I love this one. So if anyone is going through that kind of breakdown moment where everything feels a bit crazy, keep this card in your back pocket and just know that it will pass and everything is going to be a breakthrough moment for you soon if you do feel this craziness. Oh, I love this one. It says priorities. The quality of your life is determined by how you spend your time. Make sure your schedule reflects the life that you want. I love this. Make sure that your schedule reflects the life that you want. Very important. I love this. Okay, next one. It says Sovereign, which relates very much to this Empress card that we pulled earlier. Lovely. I'll show you guys on YouTube. The Empress and Sovereign, and it says, you are the queen of your life. Treat yourself like royalty. And I would say this is true regardless of whatever your gender happens to be, right? Treat yourself like royalty in your life. Have that self-worth. Have that self-care. Trust yourself. Have confidence in yourself. Very important. And let's see, the next one is optimism. Love it. It says, if you're going to make up stories in your head about people and circumstances, please make them love stories with happy endings. I love that. So good. So that's all the oracle cards for this week, and that's all the tarot cards. This has been the longest, I think, week ahead reading that I've done for you guys over the past few months that I've been doing these. So it's nice to see more people show up live, even though this was not planned at all. So I hope you guys have a really good week. I feel like those cards are all really good and really fun. And one thing to remember is that all those cards, all the tarot cards that we pulled, and again, if you're just showing up now, if you missed all the tarot cards, just rewatch it when this video gets uploaded. Once it's done, you will see that all of these tarot cards were upright. There's no reversals this week, so this is such a good time. Just get some momentum rolling on whatever it is that you really have been meaning to do, right? Whatever which way that is in all areas of your life. Obviously, we had a lot of swords this week. We had a lot of cups this week. So that's especially going to be true with the emotional side of our lives, the intuitive side of our lives, and the side of our life that is intellectual and kind of thought-based, right? Do we have any questions about all of the cards for the week, my friends, before I take off? What do we think? Any thoughts, feelings, questions? I don't mind hanging around for a little bit longer, and I'm actually very surprised that Instagram did not kick me off yet. And let's see, Sarah on Instagram is saying, thank you, Sabrina, for this reading. No problem. It's my pleasure. So yeah, I've been doing this on YouTube for months now, every week, on usually Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, as the tarot and oracle cards for the week ahead. And so I just been doing this week and last week on Instagram as well at the same time, so that y'all can remember that I'm doing this every week. It's just been on YouTube that I've been doing it. And it's actually been really fun. Like, I didn't know that YouTube even had a live situation for the longest time. So does anyone on YouTube have any questions? There's more people on YouTube watching this than on Instagram right now. Anyone have any questions before I take off? For the moment, I'm in a pretty good vibe today, so I might do a tarot deck unboxing later on today. So I think that'd be kind of fun. I haven't done one of those, I guess, in a while, in a few weeks. Wiser Books sent me a bunch of tarot decks to unbox and do a walkthrough on YouTube. So if anyone is curious about that, that will be happening. And what else do I want to say? I am properly launching my feminine energy course on the summer solstice. So that's going to be happening if anyone is curious about that. I think that'll be pretty fun. I'm excited to teach more about feminine energy. I think it's important. So if anyone does have any trouble connecting with the energy of that Empress card, you're going to want to pay attention and maybe even sign up. Does anyone have any more questions? I'm here for a little bit. There's a bunch of y'all on YouTube. No one's saying anything. Any more questions, my friends, about this lovely week that we've got ahead of us? I feel like it's going to be so good. I'm so excited for the summer solstice. It's so awesome. I love solstices and equinoxes, to be honest. They're so, the energy is just so good. And I'm still feeling so good with the new moon that just happened yesterday. I don't know if anyone else is feeling that, but I love the new moon vibes. New moon vibes are so good. Just like refreshing type of vibes. Let's see. I think my two favorite oracle cards for this week are these two. Those are so good. Love it. Usually when I'm done with these readings, I leave out a few cards for myself just to like keep with me for the week. Does anyone have any questions? No one has any questions. Y'all are quiet today. I'm just choosing which cards I'm going to leave out for myself. There's still a bunch of you guys live, but you're not saying anything. Which is okay. You don't have to, but I think for myself, I'm going to leave out the Fool, the Empress, Temperance. I love that. Hello, friends. Anyone just logging on, you just missed the reading. But it's always so nice when people are participating live. So I'm really glad to those of y'all who were able to be here and who caught the live. And if you are on Instagram and if you have not subscribed on YouTube yet, you should. So my YouTube is youtube.com/Sabrina Scott. And if anyone's on YouTube and you haven't followed me on Instagram, my Instagram is Sabrina M. Scott. So yeah, that's the vibes. Yeah, I love the cards for this week. Super good. No one has any questions, huh? Everyone's just like watching me put my cards back in the boxes. No one has any questions? Oh, let's see. Raspberry Mischief said, sad I missed it, but you'll definitely watch it on YouTube. Awesome. Yeah, YouTube, it's a bit of easier to watch than on Instagram, that's for sure. Midnight Mystic is saying, any upcoming courses on launching? Like, do you mean courses about how to launch things, like a business course? Or do you mean, am I launching any courses coming up? What do you mean, my friend? And then I will answer you once I know what you mean. I'm launching my feminine energy course, which is going to be called Goddess Rising on summer solstice. So that's awesome. I just finished launching Magic Without Bullshit. But if anyone does want to sneak in to Magic Without Bullshit, you can. Let me know. Okay, let's see. Midnight Mystic is saying, yeah, business courses. So actually, send me a DM because I do have a business course. Like, I just taught it. And so it's available, like, view on demand. You'll be able to, like, watch everything, like, today if you want to. I can just send you the link if you want. Yes. I can send you the link if you want. Just let me know. Like, send me a DM. And then I will hook you up. I also do, like, one-on-one business coaching, too. So if that is something that you're interested in, we can absolutely talk. It just depends, like, what are your goals and what's your budget? That's the most important things. Let's see. Just choosing which oracle cards I want to leave out. So yeah, Midnight Mystic, what is it that you want to learn business-wise? I know you said launching, but was there anything else? Yeah, send me a DM and we'll talk about it. My business course is fire, by the way. Anyone who wants to know. It's so good. It's a very philosophical business course because I think the philosophy of business actually matters a little bit more than the tactics. Thank you for that question. Yeah, business is very magical. My business course is called The Magic of Business. And so if anyone is watching this and you do want some business training, you can send me a DM on Instagram or an email. So again, my Instagram is Sabrina M. Scott, or an email ceo@sabrinamscott.com. And I will hook you up on the business course, The Magic of Business with Sabrina Scott. Yep. Good times. Okay, friends, any more questions? Because I am like here and Instagram has not kicked me off yet. Almost done my coffee. My cat is stretching. She's so cute. No more questions, friends? If there is not any more questions, then I will leave you guys to your day. Oh my god, my kitten's like so cute right now. You guys can't see her, but any more questions? Any more questions? If there's no more questions, yeah, I guess the other thing I want to just say is my feminine energy course is launching on summer solstice, aka Wednesday. So if that is something that is interesting or intriguing to anyone listening, like that is happening. It's going to be fucking awesome. If some of y'all don't know what I mean by feminine energy, you're going to want to go and listen to my podcast. It's called Secrets of a Witch. And I do a lot of episodes about feminine energy and masculine energy and how the different energies are either healthy or unhealthy. So if you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, go check that out. The podcast is called Secrets of a Witch. You can listen to it on YouTube, and it's also on like Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. It's like on all of the podcast things. So if anyone doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about, just go listen to that, and then we'll let you know all the feminine energy stuff. What else? And if anyone did miss Magic Without Bullshit, the launch, let me know. I can sneak you in if you would like me to. Okay, friends, I guess that's it for now. I'll probably be on live again later today just to do a tarot unboxing because I'm in a good mood today. So why not just do another live later on? Okay, friends, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this tarot and oracle card reading. I hope you have a wonderful week. Those of you on YouTube, do say hello on Instagram. My Instagram is Sabrina M. Scott. Those of y'all on Instagram, come say hi on YouTube. The YouTube is Sabrina Scott. So it's just youtube.com/Sabrina Scott. And here the cat is saying hello. And oh yeah, so if anyone has been a previous Magic Without Bullshit student, you can join the group coaching still if you want to. It's not that much money actually. So if anyone who is watching is a previous student who just wants to jump in on the group component moving forward, let me know. All right, that's it, friends. I'll catch you guys later for the tarot deck unboxing, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Let me get rid of YouTube first. Bye, YouTube. Thanks so much. Okay.